Ah, hello. Welcome to this current moment where the time is now. I'm Nikki. I have been on a journey and haven't been recording, if you've noticed. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining me. If you are a returning Here We Grow subscriber, thank you so much for joining me. If you could hit the like and subscribe button, it would help me immensely. Now that the business is out of the way, let's take a big, full, deep breath in through the nose and let it fall out. Let's do one more. In through the nose and let it fall out. Just notice what one, two, or three quick breaths can do for you. It's this moment of pause that is so impactful. And I've just returned from a breathwork retreat down in Los Briles, the north side of Cabo, down in Mexico. And it truly lit me up. It challenged me. It expanded me. It filled me. I met incredible people from all over the world, and I'm just returning with this new perspective on life. And travel does that for me. I absolutely love meeting people from different walks of life, especially from different cultures and different countries. And that's exactly what I got to do was immerse myself in all this newness, all these new perspectives, and the training of the breath work, this advancement of how we can actually breathe in a new way and connect in a new way. And it was work. Like it truly is breath work for a reason. We had sessions from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. most days for 7 days in a row and 15 different presenters, just really, really big work and connection. And yeah, I'm just sitting here feeling super grateful. If you're watching me on YouTube, you'll notice that I'm in a different scenery today. I'm here at Harmony, my yoga studio, and I just love that this plant is in the background. It just represents Here We Grow. That plant started as like one little vine, and here it is growing along the almost entire wall. So here We Grow is alive and well in my yoga studio, and all my plants are doing so good here. So it just shows you what the power of bringing good energy into a space will do. We take lots of deep breaths in this space. We just infuse it with yummy, good, healthy, positive energy. And we also feel some really, really deep feelings in this space, as that is the balance to everything. The higher the high, the lower the low, and then we start to find this balance in between. They say that the deeper the roots of the tree, the taller the tree gets to grow. And I like that in my own life, that when I feel like I'm going deep into the shadows and pressing through those hard moments and it's dark and it's heavy and I'm like down into the earth and maybe I'm planting this new, brand new seed in my life knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, it's this hardness that I get to feel to recognize that there's expansion on the way. And I rolled through those emotions through this whole breathwork retreat. It was really expansive and really great. And then there was moments where I just felt a little lost or out of alignment with the crew of people or out of alignment with myself or just feeling like I was just empty too. There was moments of deep emptiness. So I luckily was in a space where all of this was so well received, where I could open up and talk about it and really just be totally honest with my feelings and with my journey. And people held me in that space and reflected back to me that it's okay. And not only is it just okay, it's totally necessary. If we don't have those off moments where we're off balance, think about when you're learning to do something new or going all the way back to learning to walk. Think of how unbalanced we were. And it's those unbalanced moments where we're micro adjusting and building new strength in different muscles and trying something for the first time to where then we get to get more comfortable with what is working and what isn't working. So if we're never off balance, we never know what isn't working. And it's those moments when we catch ourselves and we fire up a new muscle or we fire up a new ability or we invite in some new knowledge, like I was doing with breath work, where I was working through some really deep modalities, where I was actually physically working my body and finding this physical connection to my body, where I was finding this emotional depth within myself, where I was opening up into the spiritual realms and bigger, grander existences that I could ever know possible. Like, I truly believe that there is so much in the unknown that is just waiting for us to tap in. There was a few breathwork sessions where we did this deep, heavy power breathing, they would call it, sort of based on Wim Hof. And then we would do these strong holds. And I got to the point where my body was so resilient in those moments that these strong holds, I was able to sit in for minutes, up to 4 minutes one time. I just held. And I was so embodied. And I felt so strong and empowered in those moments, and just really trusting my body, knowing that it would turn back on when it needed, or it would let go a little bit more when it needed, and feeling this natural rhythm of life moving through us brought me so much life. And it was struggle and hard in the process. But then once I got more aligned with it, once I got more confident with it, once my body felt stronger within these safe containers that were opened up to us, I allowed myself to just let go and release the emotions, the waves, the crying, the laughter, the shedding of layers, the just purity and the vulnerability that happened in these moments is truly life-changing. And so I'm feeling super inspired now that I'm back home and just really wanting to share more. And I'm feeling called to open up more and be seen more. I took a pretty big break from social media. I've been feeling quite a resistance to the social media platforms, feeling like every time I turn it on, it's just a talking head, like trying to sell me something or tell me what to do, or giving this really low vibrational bad news of the world. And I get to be really careful about not toxic positivitying my way through life and pretending like none of that is happening, because I am fully aware that there is a lot of chaos and a lot of darkness in this world, and I am not bypassing it, but I'm also choosing not to absorb it, not to just sit in it, not to just let that story cycle over and over, not to keep tuning into that same darkness over and over. And one of the practices that I've brought into harmony here in the last few months is to sit and send love and light and health and healing and abundance as far and as wide as we can imagine in this world. And then reversing that practice where we allow ourselves to openly receive that same love and light and abundance and connection back. And sometimes it's hard to allow yourself to receive. Sometimes it's hard to give. And so a part of this practice is just recognizing where we're at in that moment, in this day, in this time. Am I overflowing with this health and happiness? Do I feel vibrant today and so vibrant that I can share? Or am I feeling depleted? And do I need to pause? And do I need to open my heart in order to allow myself to truly receive the benefits and the gifts that are waiting? It really is a choice, and you get to shift and change that, flip that switch at any time and in any moment, where you're either giving or receiving, just like the breath. And so, just like the breath, we're inhaling and expanding, and we're opening, and then we're exhaling and contracting and going within. And you get to choose in those moments. Does your inhale open you to give, or does your inhale open you to receive? And on the opposite side of that, are you exhaling to contract to go within and receive, or are you exhaling to contract and let go? And so these are the modalities that I was really gifted to tune into, to absorb, to embody. And when I first returned home, I felt a little empty, as if I had forgotten it all. And it was my body and my mind asking me to take this sacred pause. to really reflect, to not think my way or feel my way through each and every moment like I had done for 7 days in a row. It was just asking me to integrate. And integrate is a process of doing nothing. Integration is meant to be effortless. We integrate in Shavasana at the end of every yoga practice. This is an integration moment where you lay and receive. And how often do you allow yourself to just be effortless? We have been so programmed to think our way through life and have this analytical process when that can be overstimulating. We're in an age of overinformation. And I think that that's that paralyzation that I was feeling going onto the social media platforms, just like it's so much. It's a reel of information that never ends. And the algorithm chooses what you're going to see and what you're fed. So it's every person is experiencing the social media platforms differently based on their algorithm, as we are experiencing a different experience based on our perspectives here in life. And our life and our algorithm is tuned to how we are fueling our body, what we are consuming, what we are doing in our daily life and our daily ritual. And so you're creating your own algorithm each and every moment based on the steps that you're taking in your daily life. Are you waking up and going straight to your phone? Boom, that is immediately shifting your algorithm to consuming a high amount of information, of feelings, of vision. Your vision is truly taking in so much color and exposure, and all of a sudden you're starting your day in this way. And what happens if you start your day on that high intake is that your dopamine levels are set on a very high level. And so then almost nothing can compare to that through the rest of your day. Think about that. So then the rest of the day feels a little bit dull and slow and sad and tired because you've set this bar of taking in information and feelings and processing from a really, really high level. And then your body is expecting you to stay up on that high level. Anything less than that feels low energy. I have switched my morning routine, and I've been on this for quite some time, and I think I've shared this, is that I have this very strict policy with myself that is sky before screen, period. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to like stare off into the sky for hours. It just literally means opening my blinds first thing in the morning, seeing the sky, and hopefully being able to start my day and start my routine without looking at my screen for as long as possible. And it is a game changer because think of the softness of the sky. Think of the peace. And even if it's a storm, even if there's a lot going on in the sky, it is minor compared to what's going on in your phone. You're taking in nature and this natural rhythm. You're setting your algorithm at a pace that's natural. Ah, how powerful is that? And so then the rest of the day, each thing I do and build from there, it's helping me raise that bar in certain moments, but I also have this really beautiful baseline to go back to. I'm setting my own algorithm in a smoother, more content way, in a way that feels natural because it's nature-based. And even if you're in the city, you're still looking at the sky. And even if the sky is doing whatever natural pattern it's doing of any sort of storming, or if it's super bright light, or if it's a really beautiful sunrise, like think of that algorithm. Wouldn't you want your algorithm to be based on that for the day rather than on just this like spiral loop of mania? Especially if part of your algorithm on social media is the darker side of things, is news outlets, is world events. Not that any of that is wrong or bad necessarily. It's just not what your system naturally wants to intake for first thing in the day, for the morning. So, learning that throughout this journey at this breathwork workshop, I'm really reflecting on the days that felt a little bit heavier and harder because my natural algorithm while I was down there was to get up and watch the sunrise. The sunrises there were phenomenal, just colors and clouds and movement. And then you mix that with the beauty of the ocean below it. Just wow. And I'm not much of an ocean swimmer typically. I grew up in Colorado, so I'm a very mainland person. But there was something really special and unique about the Sea of Cortez. The water was just rich. It was almost like thick and smooth. It just made your skin feel so good. And being the Sea of Cortez, a little bit inlet, there was a calmness to it. Of course, it had some waves and it would get going throughout the day, but especially in the morning, there was this like beautiful calmness to it. And so me and a few of the other women would meet at 7:15 to dip in the ocean. And it wasn't freezing, but it wasn't warm. And the typical water vibration of once you get in and your body acclimates, it was just one of the most potent medicines that I could have taken while I was down there. And my body would just surrender into having this activation with the coldness of the water, but also the relaxation at the same time. And I would just float and chill and be in there. And then we would go and get in the hot tub. And then we would get ready for our first session, which was at 8 a.m. And like I said, our days were from like 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. So on the days that I started in that algorithm, I felt a smoothness and a calmness. And my mind was more open and my feelings were more fluid. And there was 2 days in particular that I allowed myself to just sleep in and sleep past that. I thought, nah, I'm on vacation. When do I ever get to really truly sleep in like this? Because I have mostly my dog is what gets me up super early in the morning, but I have this natural rhythm while I'm at home that I like to get up early. I like to get my day started early. I usually have a yoga class first thing in the morning, so I want to have my rhythm going already by the time I walk into the studio. And so I will have done my rituals and my meditation and pulling an oracle card or reading or journaling or all three if I have time, because that really is such an ideal moment for me and a way to start my day. So these 2 days in particular that I slept through the sunrise and didn't dip in the ocean, I felt out of alignment. I felt groggy and kind of sticky and moody and was just frustrated. I felt out of alignment with the rest of the community and like missed a step because this class changed and so it was over here instead of over here, and then I was already getting ready so I didn't get to do. It was just like it just started this snowball effect of me not feeling in alignment. My algorithm was off. And that was frustrating. And the second time it happened, I was so aware. Like the first time, I was just kind of like, oh, maybe I've just been working through. Well, I know I had been working through a lot of big emotional stuff. And so there was that reasoning, but also the second time I really noticed, wow, how I start my day is going to set the tone for the whole day, period. And one thing that stood out to me was multiple times, multiple facilitators would say, if you're going to work through some big shit, now is the time. You have so much support, you have so many tools, you're held in this safe container, you're in this beautiful place. Let it feel the feels. And at home, right, we have jobs and we have to-do lists and we have family or friends or lots of things that we're balancing. So we don't always have the space and the time to sit down and get all analytical about the way that we're feeling. But in this particular space and time, I was like, wow, I get to really dial into this. And where is this coming from? Where does this stem from? And I got all the way down to this idea of perfection in the sense that I was a gymnast. And so everything was judged from a very young age. And I just have this desire to have everything feel perfect. And that comes with a heavy load of control, of over controlling, honestly. And so in this moment, I got to work with both, right? Like recognizing what algorithm I like to start my day with, but also recognizing when it's not perfect, quote unquote, when things aren't exactly in alignment, how can I bounce back from that? What are the tools in those moments where I feel off? I recognize the offness. I have this awareness, which is key number one to making any change, is that we get to be aware of it. And so from there, I just let myself feel and be really, truly honest with myself. and let go of the perfection, let go of this need to control, and just start again. Okay, yeah, my morning didn't start exactly as I wanted. This algorithm is a little bit off for me. Can I close all the tabs and start fresh and start again? And I did that. And after our first session, after that big meditation where I was feeling kind of sticky and yucky, I started to come back to life and find the light again and find my rhythm again. And something else that I was worried about that morning was just that the scheduling was off and I felt like I was out of alignment with the people around me. And so a lot of the first part of our first session in that meditation and in that breath work, I found myself worrying about what the rest of the day would look like and worrying about a schedule that hadn't even happened and worried about more misalignment that hadn't even happened. And I paused and I said, this ends here. I get to stop this cycle and start fresh now. And when I did that, I felt a full relief and a lot of release happen in my body. And then I really got into the breath work. I was breathing hard. I let my mind quiet. I really allowed some flow to happen. And a big breakthrough and a release of tears happened where it was like, Nikki, you get to just be supported and held. You can't really make the wrong decision. Each decision contributes to the path that you're going down, but you can stop and turn at any time. You can reset at any time. You can back up at any time. You can pause and take a break at any time. And I felt myself just cry. I felt myself have a desire to just cry and let it out because there was so much pent up emotion about this strict perfection that had been ingrained in me. And it was this moment of like, wow, just let it go. Let yourself be in flow. Let yourself start again. And when we came out of that meditation and came out of that breath work, the tears had just created so much space. And the people that I had been hanging out with mostly on this journey had shifted their plans to then make it so that all of us were going to hang out for the rest of the afternoon, which just brought so much joy to my heart that I saw it. I saw this pattern that had been coming up. I paused it. I stopped it. I realigned, creating a new algorithm. And then when I came out of that breathwork session, the algorithm had me back in alignment. And so it's such a simple practice and not easy, of course, because being aware throughout the day, being aware about a moment, being willing and having the bravery to face what we're actually going through and take accountability. Notice I didn't blame anyone else outside of me. I wasn't pointing fingers like that was wrong because I didn't get that message or this breathwork session guided me the wrong way. It wasn't about anyone else. It was about me taking control in a more aligned, relaxed way, if that makes sense. Me being aware, taking responsibility, and saying, it's up to me to make a different choice in this moment. And so if you feel a familiar stickiness in your life and you keep bumping up against the same thing in your daily life, are people reflecting something really similar back to you? Are you having these same messages arise? Are you recognizing that there is something that's just not quite in alignment and yet you're unsure how to face it or you're unsure how to make a change from it? Know that this moment can be a start to that next chapter by simply being aware, by simply pausing and giving yourself the permission to make that change. Is it how you start your day? Is how you start your day creating an algorithm throughout your day that's just not working? Is it your head talk? Are you constantly in a state of victimhood or feeling like you're not good enough or feeling like everyone else around you has it figured out and poor you that you just can't figure it out? Are you telling yourself over and over, I'm broke or I'm unlovable? Or are you leaning into a substance or something that you feel like is lifting you up in that moment, but ultimately it's bringing you back down? What is it in your life that's just not quite aligned? How can we create a personal algorithm that helps you feel more flow? And I'm sure that something is coming to mind straight away, and that's the one. Don't question it. Don't feel like it's too big or too heavy or too hard to make the change. Just naturally gravitate through it and breathe through it. So, the breathwork practice that we will drop into for just a second is to notice the parts that feel sticky. And we'll start with the physical being. And so, in this breathwork practice, if you can, closing your eyes or keeping your eyes open and just softening your gaze, softening your perspective, and go into the body. What is the loudest part of the body right now? What is speaking to you the most? Is it your hips? Is it your neck? Is it your fingers and toes? Is there just a little sensation? Is there a big sensation? Is it your mind? Is it something deeper within? And take a few moments to just breathe into that space. Imagine there's a mesh there. And so the mesh is breathable, and allow that breath to go in through it and out through it, just breathing space into that place in the body. And just take a few moments to bring light. Imagine actual light shining down on that space in your body. And get intimate with it, get close to it, get connected to it. It's not wrong or bad. It's not bad or worse. It's good and better to breathe into it. So we're not labeling it, we're just allowing it to feel more spacious, allowing ourselves to create flow in that place so that we can bring in this good or better ideal in our body. Because ideally, we would like to speak to our body and move in our body and breathe through our body in a way that brings good and better through lightness, through love, through connection. Right? So feel the spaciousness that is created in that space, in that place, and then open it. Allow it to get bigger and wider and all around your auric field. Imagine this aura all around you that's just suddenly breathing. And for this one, we'll go in through the nose, slow out the mouth. So we're blowing up like a balloon in through the nose, wider and wider, and slow out the mouth. Just this accordion-like feeling, this wave-like feeling, this rhythmic feeling in and out. In and out. Keep going and notice what shifts in the body. If a different part of the body starts to get heavier, or you have a ping of pain, or you have something that feels sticky, don't label it, don't attach to it. Breathe in and out of it. Let the energy flow. Feel how that feels in the body to come in and out. Where's that natural rhythm, that natural cycle? And set your algorithm to this moment. So no matter what has happened in your day so far, let this be a reset moment. If your eyes are closed, just feel that expansion and that contraction. If it's open, maybe you can actually see the expansion and contraction happening in the body. This breath that is our life force energy is a tool that is free, that we carry with us at all times, that has the ability to shift the state of the mind, the body, the spirit, the soul, the expansion, the energies. There is so much here in the breath. And you'll notice that as you're coming in and out with conscious breath, what is coming to life within you. And if there's some emotion, allow it, bring that emotion to the surface. That's what this is for. If you're in a place where you're not able to really truly let go and feel all the emotion, pause and come back to this in a space where you can actually really deeply go within to feel that emotion, to feel that deeper connection to self. We are so bottled up as humans. So much has happened through our lifetimes. There's everything from shame and sadness to pain and grief and loss to extreme immense joy and pleasure and excitement. And there's everything in between. And think about if you're holding yourself back from feeling the anger, from feeling the fear, from feeling the shame, because you don't want to go back into it because there's so much resistance. You are shutting yourself off from feeling the pleasure and the joy and the beauty that is all around you and available, this immense amount of abundance that is waiting, but we get to feel both sides. And it could be on the smallest scale every day, and it could be on a really big scale every day, but it's up to you of how much you feel. And from my experience, once you feel both sides, then all of the in between becomes more rich. Of course, we don't want to live and stay stuck in the fear and the anxiety and the shame and the pain and the grief. And we also don't want to stay stuck in the high amounts of pleasure and joy and just living in this ecstasy. We get to find this balance, this marrying of the two, where we're kind of living in this beautiful place of alignment where the algorithm just feels smooth and less intense on either side because ecstasy is intense, shame is intense. So, where's this middle ground that you can find where we're rooted, where we're grounded, where we're less attached? Notice how that feels. And it's as simple as breathing in and breathing out, of noticing the body, of recognizing that we get to move beyond what we're feeling in this moment. Because what this moment is gifting us isn't permanent. So if we have been gifted this moment that feels hard and heavy, maybe you've been on an algorithm of seeing the news and feeling that sadness, and really your heart is just breaking for the chaos that's in the world, which, by the way, is a part of this mass transformation, this mass awakening that we're all going through. So if you are feeling that, congratulations, you're alive and aware and awake. If you're suppressing it and pretending like it's not happening, that's an even more dangerous place to be. So give yourself that credit for feeling it and being within it, but also don't allow yourself to stay stuck in it because it's not permanent. It's going to change. And if you started your day on this high algorithm and you're floating and everything feels free and great and wonderful, amazing. And know that you get to come back down and find that center again too, because that's not permanent. We're not going to stay there. So just like my days in Los Borreles, it was like high and happy and great. And also I felt the low and the sad and the shame, and both married together in this wave-like emotion. But I was also recognizing what helps me get where. At what point do I want to stay in that natural algorithm of being aligned and having my rituals? And then where can I give myself some grace when the day isn't quote unquote perfect? How can I let go of control on either side and come back to the breath? My breath is truly my anchor in every single moment. And if you get to take the time to take a breath, to pause and reset more often, you will feel that fluidity of life. You will retrain your algorithm to feel more aligned. And once you're in alignment, then you get to dream about whatever you're ready to invite into your life. If we're stuck in this tight, controlling ball of anger or frustration and just the world's not working out for me and I am a victim and poor me, but I'm not willing to make any changes, I'm just going to stay in this tight, hard ball, no creation can be done from that space. It's once we let go after feeling those feelings and invite in more space to create the life that we desire, because we are here as creators and we get to create the life that we desire. It's by feeling through each and every moment that we can feel through, so that we can breathe through each and every moment that we're breathing through, so that we can create through each and every moment that is creatable. It starts now. It begins within. It begins with you. It begins with that strong desire to not be living your life out of alignment, to change your algorithm, to set your life in a new trajectory. So let's take one big, full, deep breath. And invite yourself to return to this breath as often as possible, to return home to your heart as often as possible. One of the biggest journeys we will take is from our head, our analytical thinking mind, which we need. We need that logic. We need that support from our mind, right? We can't turn that off. That would be going the opposite direction. We invite it in. We become aware of our thoughts and the patterns, the analytics, the logic. And then we take that big, huge journey down into our heart, into our feeling, which has been turned off for a really long time for a lot of us. The feeling space that's within us gets to ignite so that our logic and our analytics and our action taking is in alignment with our heart space and our feeling and our desires. And it's so, so possible. I believe in it because I am living it and I'm feeling it. It's not perfect in every moment, but I have activated a part of me that is really coming to life, that's really aligned head and heart. And you can do it too. I promise you can do it too. Thank you so much. Keep tuning in with yourself, keep shifting your algorithm, and keep leading with love. I love you so much. Talk to you soon. Bye now.